I saw this tweet here. Post. I got to call him Post now. It's called X. I'm just going to do that. I'm making this transition where I'm not going to call it Twitter anymore, and I'm not going to call these tweets anymore. I'm going to say X. I'm going to say Post. And I'm doing that out of respect for Elon, because Elon was a baller the other day. Was interviewed by Andrew Sorkin of CNBC. Did you guys see this? Hold on a second. I know this isn't like related to fan feedback, but he was complete baller mode, and he said, "Fuck you, advertisers. I don't need you anymore. You do what you want." You guys got to see this. Hold on a second. He said, "Go F yourself," basically. And I got to say, that was one of the most baller moves I've ever seen in my entire life. I loved it. Sticking it to Corpo America, and I was like, good for you, man. Good for you.
What was that trip like? And obviously, you know that there's a public perception that.
Good morning,
you're
Vin.
Clarifying this now, but there's a public perception that was part.
See, Coob is like of the opinion that Elon is super corpo, and I don't know if I exactly agree with that. Coob, I could have a discussion with you, a pleasant one. I wouldn't get like, you're right, I'm right. I wouldn't do that type of shit. I would just talk to you about why you feel that way. Like, this is good because this is part of fan feedback. And like, he is very polarizing, like my mustache, and he's been behind a lot of corpo deals. He has been behind a lot of the corpo deals. I think he's very awkward in public, and people have this perception of him where he is not empathetic. I also think that he is on the spectrum slightly and might not have the ability to be as empathetic as he might want to be. Now, this is me speculating. I think as somebody who knows about this, I can witness his actions and then determine from my own personal experiences with it, and seeing him, that perhaps he might be slightly on the spectrum. It also, a lot of geniuses were on the spectrum, like Albert Einstein, and there's one example. But there are other examples of this. But I think when you are slightly on the spectrum, that you have an inability sometimes to be as empathetic as some people would like, or what is considered to be normally empathetic. And let's be real, a lot of people say they're empathetic, and they are not empathetic. This man, I believe, is on the spectrum slightly, and wants to be empathetic. He even tweeted that you needed to open up to empathy and polarize yourself to be empathetic. I think he realizes that he might have this deficiency, like not being. I think he doesn't have a lot of time to devote to his self, because he is so out there, and he doesn't sleep at all, which is crazy. And I don't think that's healthy. But I do think this man is a leader. I do think this man gets shit done. And I do appreciate the fact that he's gone up against what I would consider like a woke corporate America. The one that's trying to censor you on what you can say, what you can do, and directly goes after freedom of speech. And so you don't see people do this like this a lot, where they stand. In fact, very rarely. This is a rarity, what you're about to watch. You don't see people say, fuck you, to that woke corporate America on the New York Times interview here with a dude from CNBC. You just generally don't see this.
Part of a apology tour, if you will. That this had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
That is so baller. Coob says he has no. I really want to explore this a little bit during fan feedback. I think it's important because I want to hear the other side of people that don't like Elon. I do like Elon. And there are a lot of people that are polarized that don't. What's up, Amiro? Good morning. And so Koob is somebody who I love in the community, and he does not love Elon, and that we have this difference, right? Doesn't mean that we have to be the one always screaming that we're right. And Koob knows that, and I know that. And this is the cool part about having a discussion with intelligent, rational people, is you try to get to the heart of the matter. Now, Koob says he has no other choice than to do this because he's angry. They are dropping him because Twitter has gone downhill since he took over. I don't know if I would consider it going downhill as opposed to what metric, I guess I would ask you, Koob, right? Are we saying in revenue, in dollars? Are we measuring it that way? Because yes, I believe you would be correct in that statement. Insofar as that Twitter, the old Twitter, was completely inundated with government officials trying to literally steer the narrative, and now it is not. I would say that that is a step in the right direction, and I would say that it has gone uphill. Ethically speaking, supporting freedom of speech, I would say that's a movement uphill. And I damn the revenues in that case. Damn the revenues in that case. Because I feel like a lot of people don't fight for that on social media. Right? I like that he doesn't want the advertising dollars from corporate America, from corporate woke America. I love that Elon is doing this. So again, Koob and I disagree. We'll try to have this discussion with Koob right now. I think this is very good to do with people, to talk to people and find out where their headspace is at. Koob then says, like the Twitter HQ coffee thing, they had huge lines of people in the lobby waiting for the 2 coffee carts in the building. Instead of realizing there was a problem with people getting coffee, instead, he installed cameras and said he'd fire anyone standing in line too long. In terms of like his style in being a boss, he's a no-nonsense motherfucker. I think that if you're going to work for this dude, you're going to have to realize that you're going to be in an environment where they're not going to do pizza parties on Friday. You know what I mean? Like, but you will have incredible stock options that will make you rich. I do prefer that over pizza. I do prefer that over pizza. To have incredible stock options. You know that people working on the line at Tesla, Koob, took stock options from Elon and became millionaires because they believed in the vision. I think that's cool. Are we still lost in how coffee drives the workday for so many people? Oh my God, coffee's so fucking important, dude. Coffee. Koob's got a good point on the coffee. That's a point to Koob right there. That's going out to Koob. That's going to you, Koob. That's going to you, Koob. That's going to you on that one, man. Coffee's the lifeblood. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f yourself.
Yes, sir. You're not gonna hit me. Yes.
Dropping truth bombs, man. Like that's a lot of people said this about Elon when he said that. He's like, well, he's got FU money. And I feel like Elon would do this if he didn't have FU money. This just makes me like, I feel the character of Elon is this, that he's not just doing this because he's one of the richest men in the world. That's how he got rich. You understand? What I'm saying is the decisions that this man made over the course of his career is how he got to sit here in this chair. Okay? That's how he got the FU money, right? It's not the FU money that made it possible for him to say this. This is Elon. He's saying, I don't care. The world will be the judge. Fuck you, Disney. Fuck you, advertisers that are pooling because you're worried, and took my post out of context because he had it like an anti-Semitic. People were trying to paint him into a corner like he said something anti-Semitic. I have not seen the tweet, but he explained in this interview that was an hour and a half that I watched the whole thing. You guys got to check out this interview. It's crazy. Where he called Sam Altman, the company that they created, OpenAI, and he said they should not call it OpenAI anymore. They should call it extremely closed. for maximum profit AI, and I was like, dude, that's the funniest thing that I've ever heard. Elon is just going to tell you how he feels, and he's going to tell you the way he sees the world. You're not always going to agree with Elon on everything, but I admire somebody who gets shit done and says it like it is. I feel like that needs to happen a lot more in corporate America, period. It's, to me, it's like a breath of fresh air because it has been so stale for the longest time. I feel you on that, Sarah.
Nothing is impossible. Do it. Make your dreams come true. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Just do it.
On the corporate side of things, on the money side of things, Koob is right. You know, he's saying, hey, if I'm an advertiser and I don't want to get involved with, like, you know, the remarks, whatever it may be, that the advertiser has the right to pull the money out and say, we're not going to be here anymore. We're not supporting this because they don't want to be associated with the drama, right? If you're going to advertise with Elon, you should know ahead of time there's going to be drama. It's just part of the fucking gig, man. I mean, like, really. Shame on Disney. Shame on everybody that doesn't know that shit. You know, the benefit is he brings the drama as well, if you understand what I'm saying. Because more eyes are coming to it. It's that clickbait mentality, right? So if you are an advertiser, you want maximum eyeballs, right? Then you probably should, which is interesting.
But
Go yourself. Is that clear?
He's talking to Bob Iger, by the way. Bob Iger is the CEO of Disney.
well, let me ask you then.
That's how I feel. Don't advertise.
How do you think then about the economics of X? If part of the underlying model, at least today, and maybe it needs to shift, maybe the answer is it needs to shift away from advertising. If you believe that this is the one part of your business where you will be beholden to those who have this view, what do you do?
F-Y.
I understand that, but there's a reality too, right?
Yes. No.
I mean, Linda Yaccarino's right here, and she's got to sell advertising.
Absolutely. So, totally. No. Actually, what this advertising boycott is going to do, it's going to kill the company.
And do you think that
and the whole world will know that those advertisers killed the company, and we will document it in great detail.
But those advertisers, I imagine, are going to say, we didn't kill the company.
Oh, yeah?
They're going to say...
Tell it to Earth.
Yes, you're not gonna hate me. Yes.
He's talking about people's perception of it and people all over the world judging it because, you know, when Disney's already in so much fucking hot water right now with their woke shit that they're doing, that people are pulling from Disney. You know, if you've gone over their quarterlies and seen their stock action right now, people are avoiding Disney like the plague. He's just basically saying, go ahead, pull the funding if you want. What does it matter to me? Go ahead, do it. It'll be on the display for the world, and people will judge. People will judge either Elon's wrong or people will judge that Disney's wrong, but people are just going to judge it one way or the other. So let's do it. Let's put all the chips on the table and let it fall where they may. And God damn, that is one of the ballsiest things. Whether you do not like Elon or whether you like Elon, you have to admit that a statement like this is 1% happening around the world right now. This is the most rare thing to ever happen on social media, to see a man who's declining to take advertiser revenue because he just frankly doesn't want to have to deal with people that take him out of context, that are telling him that he's an anti-Semite, that, you know, like, don't want to be associated with him. He's like, fuck you then. I don't need you. Whatever. I'm going to do this on my own with or without you. That's what he's basically saying. That's how I'm interpreting it. That's how I'm interpreting it. It could be the wrong interpretation, but that's just how I see things.
But they're going to say, Elon, that you killed the company because you said these things and that they were inappropriate things and that they didn't feel comfortable on the platform, right? That's what they're going to say.
And let's see how Earth responds to that.
I gotta, come on, the man's a baller. He's like, I'm playing chess right now. I'm playing chess. Let's just do it. Let's do it. You want to get crazy? Let's get a little crazy. Right. Exactly, Seraph. Exactly.
Okay.
And you know who's going to win? He's going to win. You know why? Look at all the successes he has. Tesla makes more EVs than all of the big manufacturers combined. They said it wouldn't happen. He did it. Look at all the successes. Look at all the things in the world from Elon. You might not like them. They're there. You know, when you look up in the sky and you start to see all the little satellites in the sky, Starlink, they told him it couldn't happen. It's there. They told him the EVs, he would never do it with Tesla. It happened. Like, man, the guy gets shit done.
Then this goes back to
We'll both make our cases,
right,
and we'll see
who wins,
what the outcome is.
What are the economics of that for you? I mean, you have enormous resources, so you can actually keep this company going for a very long time. Would you keep it going for a long time if there was no advertising?
I mean, if the company fails because of an advertiser boycott, it will fail because of an advertiser boycott. And that will be what bankrupted the company, and that's what everybody on Earth will know.
What do you think then of the, this goes back to the idea of trust, though.
It's interesting. Backspace says Tesla also doesn't want to pay fair wages or workers to unionize, just like Amazon. In terms of like their fair wages, I'm not quite sure because I don't know what the average Tesla employee gets paid. I'd imagine it's decent. I'd imagine it's decent. Like if you're working for Tesla, I don't know what the average pay is, Backspace. If you got that, let me know. I know those with stock options are very, very happy. Which is, I think all Tesla's employees get stock options, which is cool. And his stance is this. He's like, if there needs to be a union in Tesla, I've done something wrong. Because the only time a union needs to exist is in a king and peasant situation. When, you know, like if you look at it in like kings and peasants, right? And you see like a class divide. He said that's the only time that unions are ever needed to call for is if I'm not doing it right. He said, and if that's what happens, then that will happen. That's his stance on unions. Being that my extended family out in Michigan worked at Ford, I understand both sides. I understand both sides because like what corporate America did to the auto workers is a horrible, like read some history. You're going to find out that what the corporos did to auto workers was horrible. They absolutely had to make a union. So the UAW, in fact, my father-in-law's dad was the vice president of the UAW. So like I don't even want to get into this because I'm going to tell you what, I get into a long discussion about unions and the UAW, and I've had them with my in-laws from Amy, by the way. That was my wife that passed away in 2006. And I was very close with her dad, who worked at Ford all his life. And so I understand the union stance. And I understand that the unions had to be there because of what corporations did to their auto workers. It's horrible. I think we're in a different age. I think Elon can bring about like a different atmosphere to it. I might be jaded. I don't know. I just think that like his version of his manufacturing plant is completely different than a GM or a Ford. If you've seen the Tesla plant, it's like walking into a crazy science lab. It's like Dexter's Laboratory. If you go into the Tesla tour and you get to see the actual inner workings of Tesla, it's nothing like a GM. It's nothing like a Ford. It is beyond that. Beyond that. So I don't know if you're not comparing apples to apples anymore in terms of like your union talk. You know what I'm saying, Backspace? You know, I respect your stance, but I'm just like coming at it from my experience and my angles on the matter. I could be completely wrong. You know what I'm saying, Backspace?
It'll be gone. And it'll be gone because of an advertiser boycott.
But you recognize that some of those people are going to say that they didn't feel comfortable on the platform. And I just wonder and ask you and think about that for a second.
Tell it to the judge.
But the judge is going to be...
The judge is the public.
We've never been the chef in the room in most any situations when you talk about the general populace. You know what I'm saying, Backspace? I think that's why the Constitution's really important. I think that's why the Constitution is really important and continually being challenged. Always, always. We have to be very vigilant, and I'm sad because most Americans are not vigilant on protecting all of your amendment, all of your rights as a civilian here. But anyway, just wanted to get that out of the way. I don't know how we started talking about Elon Musk and I don't even know how we got there, but we are in fan feedback. Apologies.